morning, welcome back. You're still watching Daybreak on the second day of March 2022, and I want to introduce the panels that we have here in studio as we embark on the conversation about the state of politics and the interests, or rather the future of the special interest groups in as far as this election is concerned. Of course, we'll be looking at that with Senator Isaac Mwaura, who is a nominated senator. Should I say of the Jubilee Party? Or what do I say now? Whatever happened on Saturday, did it affect you? I hear you were removed.
From where?
From the Jubilee Party.
But they had already removed me and I was reinstated by the courts.
So now they struck your name off the register. And
so therefore?
That's what I'm asking. Has it affected you?
How would they affect? In any case, on what basis? I was reinstated by the courts. I'm back to the Senate. That is null and void to the extent of that. No, because you see, obviously, if you are even to look at the Jubilee that met at the NDC and the Jubilee that we fought for to come to power, these are two different parties.
Okay.
One is called...
No, I was just saying hi. Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
All right, we have Amos Olempaka, who is Patron, Minority and Marginalized Communities Affairs. Good morning.
Morning to you, Sam.
Your first time here?
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. We are doing fine as minorities.
Okay.
And marginalized communities.
You know, it's not usual to hear someone admitting that you're actually part of the minorities. Maybe you can just begin by telling us what that means from how you understand it, and also as you base it on the Constitution.
Yeah, minorities and marginalized communities is one of the special interest groups in our Constitution under the Bill of Rights. When you read the Bill of Rights, it has a key, some specific special interest groups. People with disability, women, youth, the elderly, children, it is covered under the Bill of Rights. So we are covered under Article 56 of the Constitution, minority and marginalized communities.
Okay. And shortly will be joining us is Priscilla Nyokabe, who is a commissioner of the National Gender and Equality Commission. That equality is very important in this conversation. But first, I want us to take a look at what's happening on the dailies. On the front page of the Daily Nation, Raila to Kalonzo, we don't need you, a wiper out storm. Talk of wordplay. Battle of wits and ferocious hardliners. There are different leaders who've spoken, including one Musalia Mudavadi, who says it is unbelievable that our colleagues in NASA could go behind our backs to sign their own agreement. Then you'll see Azimio storm of a secret power deal is the story that is on the front page of the Standard. Kalonzo lifts the lead on an elaborate power-sharing pact with Raila in last elections, which he says must form the basis of new Azimio talks, even as lawyers who midwifed pact say agreement is as dead as dodo. Of course, that's one of the stories that are making headlines on the front page of the Standard. But you'll also see them talk about 19 months on no action on Kwamza probe. You remember that, I believe it was on 26th of August 2020, President Kenyatta came to the people and announced that there was going to be investigations as far as the Kwamza COVID-19 scandal. It was nicknamed Billionaires, COVID Billionaires. In 21 days, we expected to have a report. Yes, a report came, but it was sent to the DPP, who returned the file to the EACC, saying that further investigations needed to be done. I think that was about October of 2020, but up to date, nothing much has happened. Nobody knows what goes on. And I want us to begin the conversation by looking at the state of coalitions, because now we're seeing Kenya saying that they are not quite ready to sign a deal on the One Kenya Alliance. They are asking for more time. Then what happens to this? Then you'll see the conversation around Azimio la Umoja. Kalonzo Musyoka saying that there is a secret deal that needs to be honored. I mean, what do you make of this, Senator Mwaura, if I may begin with you?
I think it's a reeks of the usual shenanigans of political dishonesty. And by the way, what is the value of these political pacts that people sign anyway? Because if you look at even within the Jubilee Party, it seems to have crumbled. So I think this is just an exercise in futility. You can either be trusted or not. But of course, at least Kalonzo has said that Raila is not one to be trusted. That has come from him, and I don't know. When I look at this headline, especially on the Daily Nation, it's quite interesting. Raila to Kalonzo, we don't need you. That's a very strong statement, and I think that's what he was trying to achieve by making sure he has Charity Ngilu, Evudha Kibwana, and Alfred Mutua as the reigning governors, to the extent that then all of them come from the stronghold of Kalonzo Musyoka. But it may cost him in the long run. You can't just ignore Kalonzo. It doesn't seem that because of governors supporting you, he doesn't have any clout. Otherwise, then why are we debating him? But certainly, even looking at Martha Karua, she could be looking at the ground. Because the moment she signs OKA pact and then OKA seems to be headed the Azimio way, then it becomes a very difficult issue. And I think also Moses Kuria said he can join OKA as long as they don't go the Azimio way, because that is going to be very, very counterproductive on the ground. So I think people are weighing in their options, but basically it's just a sense of belonging. Eventually we see, even when people have formed government, leave alone those who never formed government and therefore saying that whatever they may have agreed was null and void because the aims were not attained. But even when you formed government, we used to think, that it would be easy, and again I want to apologize for my voice, it would be easy for you if you have a security of tenure as a deputy president. But now you can see now the deputy president is effectively government in opposition, and the opposition is effectively opposition in government. So you cannot have a guarantee that the center is going to hold on account of legal pacts or even legal constitutional provisions. It's unfortunate because I actually expected that would be the case, and I was very encouraged by the sticking together of Ruto in their first term, for example, going into 2017 general elections, because you see that needs to be done so that people can know that political pacts can stay long enough to last a term. But as things look, and it has been proven many times that you only need about 6 months for things to start to unravel. So, you, even after 2022, these elections that we are going, you still seeing realignment soon after elections because of 2027 and because of shifting, political considerations. So it's unfortunate because we are developing a very bad culture of not honoring political promises or pacts in this case. So from the 2002, for example. The MOU. Remember the MOU story? Of course, the most consistent person in this thread is Raila Amolo Odinga. So for the last 20 years, he's been at the center of political pacts. So my take is that yes, even a new law has been put in place. Of course, some sections have been suspended in the meantime, but you cannot legislate honesty. You cannot legislate character. You cannot legislate the fact that then you can be trusted with people. And that also introduces a very serious fundamental question. Well, if you cannot be trusted on how you agree with those who you go to hunt for votes together with, then how can you be trusted in leading this country?
What sections have been suspended by the court?
The one about the register. You've not seen the Justice Odunga's ruling?
Please share it with me. Then I'll bring it to the attention of the audience. I'll get back to you, but let's first listen to, what one Secretary General of NARC Kenya said yesterday. Of course, there had been anticipation that the One Kenya Alliance deal would be signed on Monday. It was postponed to today, which is Wednesday. We're waiting to see if that will happen, but NARC Kenya has spoken and said this.
For the avoidance of doubt, we have indicated that we will not be in a position as yet to sign the OKA coalition agreement tomorrow. I think generally I had indicated that the party received the final OKA coalition agreement, draft coalition agreement, about 36 hours ago. And we were able to mobilize very swiftly and have a NEC sitting. And it was realized within the NEC that we would probably need a little bit more time. But I think also that with that context, we'll also appreciate that we've had a Political Parties Act Amendment 2022 that has brought new dimensions to the coalition making.
All right, and I don't know that this is foreign territory for you, but now that you're here, you have to talk about what is in the news. What do you make of, at least now for the One Kenya Alliance, these postponing events? Of course, you've seen several meetings that have been held by One Kenya Alliance. As of Friday, when Kalonzo Musyoka came to read a statement that they are going to work with Azimio, Martha Karua was obviously not on the lineup. It was said that she was out of the country in Juba. She came back that evening. We didn't see her at the Jubilee NDC on Saturday. The explanation was that she had urgent matters in Kirinyaga. Now we see Na Kenya coming out and saying we are not ready to sign. We need time, at least 7 days, to consider it before we can append our signature. What do you make of this when you have to reflect on the history of coalition formation in this country?
Sam, thank you very much. And I think it's all about trust and fear of unknown. All these coalitions are made or are formed basically on the basis of trust. So all these intrigues is all about trust. There is lack of trust because of the culture of impunity in this country, where nobody honor, gentleman agreement. All these things, and the reason why this coalition is very hard now to form in Kenya is just because of trust, what Senator Mwaura said. So when you see people, retreating, sitting down in a round table, tomorrow they are not together, just because of trust. As much as we are coming up with laws to try to bring that sanity of trust, is very hard, because it's a moral duty. When I said, Sam, I will give you this constitution today, then I have to honor that trust, that agreement. But the whole thing is that it's revolving around, somebody tomorrow telling you what you have agreed is not that way, even if you have abandoned your signatures. Because it is very clear, once you are doing this, there is a process. Even depositing this to the registrar of political parties for security, or to get somebody, a third party to be your arbitrator. At times it's a letdown to this country. So what we are doing is that we are just like in a season like this, a political marriage, or at this particular moment, you don't trust any marriage that cannot last, or there is fear of the parties, then there is lack of trust. So what all these political parties are doing is that they are trying to sanitize, they are trying to wash the culture of disunity and lack of trust in this package. So to me, what Martha Karua and the Na Kenya is doing is that they are trying to be safe. Because other people are crying. And when you see an house that is on fire, the only thing is that you can only have one option, is to stay away and see how the unfolding of the fire. So that is what I can make at this particular moment. But I think there is need for the politician, the political class, the political elites to sit down and reflect back and give honor, and also put the interests of the country first. Because it's not easy to agree on a particular package, and tomorrow you said you disagree again. So that is what I'm saying. It's lack of trust.
Okay. And when you look at this, because these conversations, usually the people that are getting into coalitions, you'll find it's the big boys or the big communities in this country. When you are looking at it from the point of view of the, is it 79
minority communities
79
in 26
communities that you represent? Yeah. I mean, what's your place in this, and have you had a say?
It's unfortunate. We are nowhere closer to that. These are political parties. And these political parties, and I think Senator Mwaura can attest to that, they are formed by the majority communities. It's like clubs. So minority communities are nowhere in those parties. And Makiu, we are about 3 million in total population of minorities in Kenya. And we are not there because we don't have a political party. And we are just spread in this country without having ownership of one party. So when these people are making these deals, minorities are not there. These are big boys. and big girls seated somewhere because they have numbers. It's all about numerical issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you'll get into the details of that later. Senator Moore, I'm still not able to find what sections of the law have been suspended. I wish you could share them with me. But as you reflect on that, when you look at this case of what Kenya is doing, there's been this confusion whether One Kenya Alliance can come together to form a coalition and then thereafter go and join another coalition, because the law talks of political parties may form into a coalition political party. So can whatever One Kenya Alliance hopes to do really happen?
I don't know. It can happen, of course. I think you can get to as many coalition agreements as possible, not unless they're at variance with the initial pact. And also remember, for example, in the East, let me give you an example of the East African community. At some point, we are in EAC, but there was a coalition of the willing. So Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda decided that their citizens could travel across the three countries by only using one ID, their national ID. And I actually benefited from that. I don't know whether it still does. All what you needed is to show up, and there's like a small card that you needed to fill in. Yeah, so my friend Michael Orwa, who, by the way, we ran in politics together at KU, the Secretary General of NAC Kenya, may be hesitant to sign into the OKE agreement, possibly because of other internal dynamics. And of course, I can see like they are struggling to say that they need to take time to understand what that draft coalition agreement means. So it is possible. It is very possible to have OKE signing internally. Okay. And together, then they agree what are the minimums they need to sign either.
So what I'm asking is, in law, is it possible for One Kenya Alliance to form into a coalition, and then eventually you now join or work together with Azimio la Umoja as another coalition? I don't think it's a matter of law. If you leave it to law, because the law seemed to suggest a political party, a coalition political party. That is a party that is in itself internally a coalition. And that has happened before, it's just that it was not put in law. If you look at NAC of 02, that was actually a coalition. No. I'm focusing on the current law. So if One Kenya Alliance is a coalition political party, can you by law form another coalition? And I'm saying it's not necessarily a matter of law, Sam. That's what I'm trying to explain. It's not necessarily a matter of law. It's over and above the law. Because a coalition political party is basically coming to terms with the fact that you can have individual parties internally who are actually corporate members of another party. You get that is what is being allowed, so that Azimio may have a credence. But of course, we who in Kenya Kwamza, Kenya Kwamza went ahead and also adopted the same formula. So what is good for the goose is good for the gander. So it's not a matter of law in short, Sam. That's what I'm saying. Okay. But when you reflect on what's going on, and also maybe to answer that question that you asked, the section that has been suspended for now is that parties may continue to use their current party registers until the matter is heard on 9th of March. Okay, I'll verify that. But tell me about Kenya Kwamza. What is the conversation going on? Will you move into a coalition political party or a coalition? I don't think so. Individual parties are going to maybe zone and say these are the areas we're going to fill. Maybe Western, we have ANC, Fort Kenya, and Central, Rift Valley, and other places you have UDA. No, I don't think so. Okay. All right. I want us to take a short break. When we return, we'll be advancing the conversation about what just happened yesterday with the revelations of Kalonzo Musyoka, and then we'll branch out to talk about the special interests and their place in these elections. Stay tuned.